I don't know about you, but as soon as the sun comes out, the barbecues are out. And in the UK, I've been waiting all damn summer. It feels like it anyway. So I've got an incredible piece of ribeye from my local butchers. I went past there and I knew exactly what I wanted. It got this beautiful flecking on there, this lovely, almost like yellow fat. I know that that cow has lived a good life and I want to do it justice. So I'm going to show you how to cook it on my big green egg and my new Gozney Dome. Why? You probably don't know this about me, but I've got a lot of experience cooking and barbecuing. My previous restaurants I've worked over live fire, and I am so passionate about it. I've literally been waiting all summer to do this series. So let's fire them up. Just a quick disclaimer, both of these products, the Big Green Egg and the Gozney Dome, were purchased out of my own money, therefore it's not a sponsored video, and so my opinions are totally unbiased towards either brand. It's just my pure love for fire cooking and I want to share that with you. The first one I'm going to show you is the Gozney Dome. This is my brand new toy. I'm really, really excited to play with this and show you guys this. I've been saving up for this bad boy for a long time, and yes, it's slightly on the pricier side, but it's got so many different functions and different properties to it. It makes it really, I think, worth every penny. So it's perfect for pizza cooking. I think that's what Gozney are very well known for. But what I want to show you today is how to cook the perfect ribeye steak in it. Because you know me, I love a good piece of meat. So I've loaded up the Gozney with some wood fire. It's currently at 484 degrees. I mean, how techie is this? It's got a digital thermometer inside, so I can see exactly what centigrade it is. So I've loaded it up. It's scorching hot, already burnt myself on it. So it's definitely christened. And I'm ready to cook with that. I'm actually probably thinking that's a little bit too high, so I might let it come down a little bit. So the next barbecue I'm also going to be working with is the Big Green Egg. I've been using these for a long time, most of my career. And these sort of Kamado egg style ceramic barbecues are really versatile as well, but they're on the slightly smaller side. You can get bigger versions, but this one is perfect for the garden that my size garden. So I've loaded this up with some wood this morning and give it a nice good curing. Haven't used the barbecues in a while, especially this one, thanks to the summer. So I've given them a really, really good curing this morning. My neighbours probably think I'm absolutely crazy getting up at 8 in the morning to do this, but my washing now smells of wood and we're ready to go. First up, we need to season our meat. These have been out at room temperature, so they're nice and not cold inside, because cooking cold meat, never great. And we're just going to really liberally season this all over. To be honest, a lot of this salt will probably just fall off as soon as you put it into a barbecue like the Big Green Egg. But because I'm going to show you how to cook this in the wood-fired oven, I think it's quite necessary to season up the meat. So it draws out a lot more flavour in the meat. And we're just going to give that a little oiling as well. It's always important to oil meat, but just a little bit. Give it a good rubbing over. Oh, got some rosemary here. My butcher always decorates or garnishes our steaks meat with some rosemary. I think it's very sweet, but I'm going to save that for the butter sort of basting later, like a herb butter. Right, perfect. Right, I'm going to quickly go wash my hands. This is going to be a really hot oven, so it's currently at 440 degrees. So we can't just use any old pan in there. I've got some cast iron, and this one's got a metal handle. So it's perfect for the wood fire. And don't put anything with a wooden handle into something like this. Obviously it will burn. And obviously don't use anything like aluminium or cheap metal, because it will just buckle and burn. So I'm just going to preheat this pan in this wood-fired oven. I've learnt my lesson from earlier, have to get in a burn, so I'm going to put my heat gloves on before handling these ovens. There we go. In you go. Look at the quality of this meat. It's fan-frickin-tastic. I'm just going to give the meat a gentle push down to flatten them a little bit. They are a nice thick steak, but if you give it a little flatten, it will just kind of help them cook a bit more evenly and a bit faster. Because with steaks, you kind of want to cook them sort of hard and fast and on a high heat, and I am still talking about cooking it. Who wouldn't get excited over a couple of steaks looking like that? I do. So I've been up early this morning setting up these barbecues. I've not really had time to eat. So I advise a good barbecue snack on the side whenever you're doing outdoor cooking. What's your go-to snack? These truffle crisps are my favorite. And of course, like you say, non-alcoholic beer. Not sponsored. They are pretty premium. I mean, we've got a little premium setup today. We've got a big green egg, a dome. We're very, very lucky. But we have worked damn hard to achieve this. All right, this pan is smoking hot. You see that? That is ready for the steak. I highly recommend you get these heat-proof gloves. I will link them in the description below because these are saving the rest of my fingers after burning myself this morning. I need a very good, I think I need something solid, put the pan on. And we're just going to push the steak down. When it sizzles, that's the right sound. This is what I love about fire cooking, is that you're using all of your senses, the sounds, the smells, like the sight of it. It's just, you've got to tune in when you cook like this. Otherwise you might end up getting hurt or ruin your food. Can it go back in now? Oh, don't want to forget, little cheeky probe action here. Oh, so I want the turn all of that to be 40 degrees. So this will probe, and it tells you exactly what temperature it's in. You can have 2 probes at the same time, which is very, very fancy. But if you don't have that, trusty Thermopen, again, linked in the description, our best partner. So I'm going to use this one on the big green egg. Let's get the big green egg going. I've got the coal in the big green egg, coal, wood. I've used some pressed charcoal in there, and I put it all onto one side. And there's a reason for that, because I'm going to cook this on a high, fast, hot side of the big green egg on the cast iron grill, and then I'm going to rest it onto the cooler side. Otherwise, it's just going to get too much of a crust on there. When it's got to a temperature where you can barely keep your hand there for longer than a couple of seconds, my asbestos hands are not working. There we go, that's hot enough. Then we're going to push just like in the pan, we're going to press the steak onto the grill. You're going to see how stressed I'm going to get cooking 2 steaks at the same time. Now the difference with the big green egg is we're going to want to keep that moving, because only after a few seconds the temperature of that coal and grills, the temperature of that grills is going to drop. So we need to keep moving it to a hotter space on the barbecue. And also, I don't like it when you get those crisscross lines on steaks. I like a really nice even crust. Just keep pushing it down. So you see how I moved it to another spot where it's going to be hot there, but not as hot here, and it'll be hot here. So we're just going to keep moving it around. That is an incredible looking crust on there, and that, I would imagine, is actually nearly done. See how fast that was? Might be. Now I'm just going to make a buttery herby. I'm not going to forget about the juices in that pan. I'm going to make oh, that's heavy. I'm just going to pop in a couple of cloves of garlic and loads of butter in there to season this steak. So I've got a couple of fat cloves of garlic. And there you go. A really healthy amount of butter. Oh, and I put a bit of butter in here. Butter, pepper. Some herbs from the garden. All right, this one's ready to turn over. The heat of that pan is still really, really warm. I'm just going to pour that herb butter all over the steak. Delicious. I'm now going to let that rest for a couple of minutes and then I'm going to slice it up. Perfect. Now onto this steak here. It's ready to flip. Again, like I mentioned earlier, some of the salt will just fall off this steak into the barbecue, so feel free when you turn it over to season it a bit more. That is ready to go. And I'm just going to place it onto the other side here, a bit cooler, so it will finish cooking through. Oh, that's ready to come off. We don't do things in halves on this channel, do we? So we've got a lovely crust on this steak here. Okay, so this is the big green egg. Beautiful, beautiful crust. That took a little bit longer only because I made sure that that fire cooking directly above the flames. I wanted to have it a little bit lower so it was more controlled. But I've got this wonderful crust on here. I know that's going to be delicious. And this one took me by surprise how quickly this cooked in the pan, actually. I feel like I still need to get a bit of used to using the heat and flame on this barbecue. But it's got this wonderful, super even crust on there that I know it's going to taste delicious as well. So I can't compare them because it's like comparing apples to oranges in terms of which one's better. I think there's pros and cons to both, but I can't wait to taste this meat. So let's get slicing. I think I cooked this a little bit over for my liking. I normally have it a lot bit pinker, but I'm just getting used to this new barbecue. So I'm cutting it nice and thin against the grain. But can you see how easily, even though I cooked this a little bit more on the medium side, that how my knife is just sliding through like butter. The main thing is, does it taste good? Honestly, the best bit about being the chef is you can get the best bit, which is going to be right smack bang in the middle. Excuse me using my fingers, but I'm hungry. I do get flavour from that wood fire cooking, like almost like a smokiness, but wow, that herb butter's lovely because it adds another dimension to it. And that meat is just almost like buttery soft. That's pretty damn good. I'm pretty happy with that. Even though that's not a medium rare for me, I'm still very happy with that. And I know that's gonna be a winner with the family. I'm just gonna save this steak and try the other one. Ooh, it's lovely. This again is just cutting through so easily. So I got this one a little bit pink here. These are the ideal temperatures if you want to have rare, medium, or well done, AKA don't do this. Let's have a taste. Again, it's not like I'm comparing apples and it's the completely different barbecues, right? But this one just has, because I maybe used charcoal, you get a real proper charcoal smokiness to this steak, which I've always loved and adored. So if I had to pick which one to cook steak on, I think it's gonna have to be the big green egg. She's gonna have to be a winner, like she's a winner. Because I love that charcoal flavor. Just really reminds me of eating like at a steakhouse restaurant. But I have to say, I was super impressed how quickly I could cook a steak on the Gozney Dome. So again, I think there's pros and cons to both. Depends on your preference and which one you've got. It's getting seriously hot in here. Let's move on to the next part of the show. I'm gonna make a steak salad. I love this steak salad because it's so flavorful. It's we're gonna make sort of a herby mix. It's a cross between like a Gremolata and a chimichurri. It's more of a chimichurri because we're gonna add olive oil and vinegar into the mix, so it's a little bit wetter. And the main fiber is gonna come from these delicious Borlotti beans. You know I'm a fan of my beans at the moment. Because they're just high in protein and really good in fiber, delicious, healthy for the family, and also it adds a little different dimension when you have like a barbecue or outdoor party and everyone else is bringing out, you know, the same sort of thing, and you bring out this absolute banger of a salad that makes everyone just go, oh, they've got some skills. And you could be like, yeah, because I watched it from Auntie Liz's channel. So first things first, let's make our Gremolata, I meant chimichurri. I got some beautiful herbs from the garden. So we've got some parsley, some fresh oregano, and some basil. Might not be super traditional, but I wanted to get all these different flavors and aromats into the dish. So in they go. Definitely gonna use more parsley because that's the main sort of herb for this sauce. 1 clove garlic, in it goes. Now we're gonna add a zest of lemon. I'm just gonna put half the zest in now. A good splash of olive oil. A touch of red wine vinegar. Just a little bit. You really want a lot of acidity in this sauce to kind of cut through the steak. Ready to blend. Nearly there. Ooh, what would be a lovely addition is a little bit of spice. I'm gonna add my Thai chili flakes. Now, these are absolute fire. So I'm gonna be I don't wanna be an absolute pussy with it, but I don't want to kill everyone. Yeah, that's loads. Alternatively, you could just use fresh red chili. Now that is a lovely texture. Now, this is gonna be a uncooked sauce, so you serve it when obviously the steak's cooked. You don't need to cook it at all. We want that raw freshness to come through to really pack a punch. So as part of this salad, we've got some wonderful sort of these plum Datterini tomatoes at the moment. All they need to do is a little seasoning. And it's actually one of the first things I excitingly taught my husband when I was at culinary school is just a little bit of salt on a tomato. It makes the tomato taste so juicy and delicious. And I think you can agree. I'm gonna pop those into a little bowl. Sea salt. It doesn't take too much. I'm just gonna leave those for a few minutes before we add them to the plate. So next up, lemon. Always give it a good squeeze. Bring that back, add that in. And now we're pretty much ready just to assemble. It's that easy. The Borlotti beans. So these have been drained and rinsed. Oh, I'm so excited for this. So these sort of salads that just make me think of summer. Some rocket. This is washed rocket. Rocket and steak just go really well together because it's peppery. It tastes really, really peppery. It goes so well when we've got this beautiful cooked steak. I'll just get my fingers in there, excuse me. Salads aren't meant to be pretty, but this looks pretty good to me. Oh, the sun's coming out now. Right, that lovely chimichurri sauce. And last of all, a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Because again, rocket, steak, and Parmesan is a classic combination. And it will just add that little extra saltiness and umami that we all need and want. I'm just grating this on the sort of the slice attachment. There we go. Ready? Okay, that's that. And that is my steak chimichurri Borlotti bean salad. The ultimate steak salad for this summer. Let's get a little bean. Wow, those beans add like a creaminess to the dish. You're punched around the face from that garlic and the chili from the chimichurri, and the meatiness, obviously, from the steak is just delightful. And then you've got saltiness and sweetness from the tomatoes and the Parmesan. It is an absolute labour of love for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode in our new outdoor kitchen, which I put together myself and my husband, and actually the kids got involved as well. Well, they attempted to. Leave us a comment if there's something you'd like to see us cook and do outside. I know I've got a pizza oven, so of course there's got to be some pizzas on the way. And of course my trusty big green egg. Let me know again in the comments what would you like to see. All the details for this full recipe will be on auntielizcooks.com. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I've absolutely had a lovely time cooking out here in the garden. Even though I'm sweltering back here and my hands are covered in soot, it's been great. I know it's an absolute real pleasure cooking on the equipment, but it doesn't matter on what you've got, it's how you use it. We all know that, boys, right? And so I will see you guys next week. Actually, it'll be really interesting to know from another person's point of view.
Right, okay. What's up?
I'm not going to tell you which one I cooked on each, which piece of beef I cooked on which barbecue.
Which barbie, yeah. That one's tender, that one's juicy.
We're talking about the meat, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a nice saltiness to it. I mean, that's good seasoning, but let's see if I can taste the
difference.
The gas, maybe?
No, I didn't use gas.
No gas? Just...
No gas.
Okay. Right, if I'd had to say which one was from the big green egg, I'd say it's probably this one.
Right.
It just had a little bit more flavour.
Number one?
Yeah, number one had a little bit more flavour, a little bit more depth to my palate anyway.
Okay.
And this one, yeah, maybe it's the colour as well. The colours influenced me slightly, but I think the pinker one was from the wood-fired barbecue, and this one was from the Gozney. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Hey!
You can stay on for the next episode.
Keep my Australian citizenship. Thanks very much.